Yo, good evening. Right, in this one, I am going back to, again, another 180. This time, not actually doing a script, because I look over what I was saying there in the last video, and the way I was sounding, it honestly sounded like I'd like handwritten a letter out to someone, and I just fucking went and posted it to them. So I'm just going to pretty much be running off of a couple of loose topics there, and I will title the video accordingly, and we'll just get on with it, okay? Right, so, first set of rambles. Persistence with pigeons and making their nest. So what does that mean? The fuck does that mean? So this little story happens where this has been happening over the past couple of weeks there with work. And every single time I've been coming in, I get to the front door and I first noticed a good few days ago that there was a set of like twigs and cable ties, like straightened out cable ties that looked like had been cut and snapped, almost like on purpose, sat outside the front of the shop. And I sat there thinking to myself, I was like, what who is doing this? What is going on here? I ended up finding out there a couple of days later there were two pigeons looking at making a nest in the most ridiculous of corners. I'm talking like there's like a metal bar where they would house a light, and there's a gap between even that bar and the back wall. So I sat there thinking to myself, these pigeons are sat there dropping these twigs and these cable ties, and they're going straight through the gap. How are they making that happen? Did he know? Like, it just seems like they're trying to fight like a losing battle, you know? So a couple of days go by, and the cable ties and twigs stop appearing on the floor outside the shop. I was sat there thinking to myself, what the fuck's happened? Like, have these guys moved on, or are they guys just like, have they just found like a different location or whichever? And they end up successfully fortifying and building a nest in the place, and now they're sat there nesting and pretty much basing themselves there as part of the day-to-day fucking rotation. Sat there like, what the fuck? And to me, it was a really good analogy of persistence. By that I mean doing something or trying something and failing over and over and over and over again miserably, no matter how bad it things may get. In the terms of these pigeons, these guys were just imagine building a house, right, and you lay a brick down and it just falls off and then tumbles down a hill. You're sat there having to go back and pick up these bricks and keep on trying to lay it over and over and over again. But these guys made it happen. These pigeons made that happen. I was sat there thinking, so it's an unbelievable thing. Like, I never expected anything there from it. I expected them to move on and maybe try and have them find a more secure location, but it just kind of goes to show, like, and these guys mindlessly did this. They worked together and they managed to get a nest fortified and built. And it kind of gave me that sort of sense of trying something or trying something new, so much to the point to where after all of the trials, the tribulations, and everything that had went wrong with it, they won. They got to the end goal that they were getting to, which was building a nest. And I just thought it was a little bit of an interesting sort of thing there that happened there to me. I didn't tell anyone about it, but I kind of made the connection there in my head, and I used that as an analogy for persistence, which I think is a good is a quality there, which is part of a good mindset to have there overall. I think personally, being able to possess such persistence and grit as well is another big one there for me. No matter on all the outcomes, you still make it out there. You still make it out. The light in the darkness, as some people call it. You know. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that because it was something there that was like of slight interest that I wanted to just kind of bring up because I made that connection in my head. I was like, yeah, I think I'll talk about that there in the next video. It's a good one. The second and last topic of what I want to say there today is simply a lack of colour in the world. When I went to McDonald's with me mum, brilliant. So me and my mum went to McDonald's because, yeah, we got a Mackey's in because we are currently getting the kitchen done up, and with that we are at a lack of general services around the house, a lot of that being the drainage and things like that. So we didn't have access to a washing machine to wash clothes or anything like that, so we've been having to go to different either laundrettes, staffed laundrettes or automatic laundrettes, which are located at like the side of some petrol stations that are around the city. So we went there, and then on the way home we were like, okay, we'll pick up a Mackey's breakfast there, just because we were out there at about 8 in the morning. We get the washing back and we're like, yeah, let's go pick up some food. So we make our order and we get told to park up, and I was looking around. with like around just the area there where this Mackey's was, and looking at the actual McDonald's building itself and the surrounding buildings of the area, I was just sat there thinking to myself, where the fuck is all the colour went? Where's all the abstractness? Where's the vibrance of the looks of these places? Whichever shift McDonald's went through, however many years ago, they turned from like this quite warm and inviting looking place. The McDonald's that I knew always had traditional like roofing that you see on a house as part of the roof, and the big sign, the big tall sign there was different and things like that. And you go into the place or you're outside of it even, and it's just black and just bleak looking. There's a lack of just vibrance, especially on the outside of the building. Sure, you get your colours and things of that nature when you finally go indoors, but the way that the decor is set out just looks so boring and bland and just depressing to be around. The tills are even worse. You know, you get up to paying for your food and stuff like that, and it honestly feels like you sat there at like a toll booth almost. It feels like it's a toll booth. You've got the one window where it just says in blank white letters, order, and then you actually have a till, which is brilliant. But then just next to it, you sit there and there's a separate window and it just says collect. That's it. I feel like it lacks that colour, it lacks that soul that I feel like the McDonald's used to have there back in the day. And I was having a look around at the surrounding buildings there as well, and seeing how bleak and how just black and grey and just like these dark browns were. And I made the point there to my mum, the only thing that was vibrant looking around these buildings, funnily enough, was advertisement. Every single bit. I remember seeing there was a new McCrispy advert. That was the only bright thing I could see in my peripheral vision there. Looking at some of the buildings there in the distance. They're just business advertisements are the only parts that have bright colours to catch people's attention. I'm like, why are we focusing the vibrant, eye-catching things on just pure advertisement? Like, why can't the actual establishments themselves be eye-catching to be a part of, and not just trying to either like directly sell you a product, or in this case food items for Mackey's? And I had me thinking, it was just like, with that, I went ahead and I started analysing some of the other parts of the site there that I was at. And I was like, I remember this sign used to be here, and it used to be a nice brighter blue, and it was white, and you could see it like at night, and you'd be able to notice it without lights. But now all it is it's just this black slab that just somewhat stands tall, and all there is just advertisements there for just all of the different like establishments and places there to visit and stuff like that. It's like, why can't we actually start catching eyes with the general just aesthetic of the actual location, rather than it being just selling individual things, you know? So I had a thought about that. I thought that was a little bit interesting there to kind of speak of. You yourself might not think, oh, Jesus, what the fuck's he going on about here? But it's opening up a particular perspective there towards how I'm seeing the world there lately. So I think that's all I've got to say about that. It has been I, Near Distance. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of one another. Accept what you can't change, change what you can't accept. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.